Chapter 1 Genius No More. Dochiki. Third stage. Facing the magical testing monument as it displayed the 5 big hurtful words. The youth stood expressionless. Lips curled in a small self-ridiculing smile. He tightly clenched his fist, and because of the strength used, his slightly sharp fingernails dug deep into the palm of his hand, bringing brief moments of pain. Xiaoyan. Dochiki. Third stage. Rank. Look. Beside the magical testing monument, a middle-aged man looked at the results on the monument and announced them with an indifferent voice. Immediately after the middle-aged man finished speaking, without much surprise, the people in the square started a commotion, ridiculing him. Third stage. Hum. As expected, this genius has once again taken a step back. This piece of trash really disgraced his entire clan. If his father wasn't the clan leader, this kind of trash would already have been kicked out of the clan. Nobody would care about him, and there wouldn't be such a thing as leeching off the clan home. How could the once famous genius of Wutan City fall to become like this over the past few years? Who knows? Maybe he did something unforgivable and caused the gods to get angry. The ridicule and laughter directed at him came from all directions and resonated in the motionless youth's ears, as if piercing his heart. He could not help but breathe heavily. He raised his head to reveal a delicate and immature face, jet black eyes glancing past the people of his age that ridiculed him as well. His lips, which were previously full of self-ridicule, turned to fill with bitterness instead. These people, were they always this cold? Or was it because 3 years ago they smiled humbly to congratulate me, and now they wanted to take it back? Smiling bitterly, Xiaoyan turned around and silently walked back to the group of people. His lonesome figure seemed to be unable to fit in with the surroundings. Next up, Xiao Mei. Hearing the tester's voice, a teenage girl quickly ran up from in the crowd. The moment she got on stage, the murmurings and discussions quietened down, and every pair of fiery eyes were locked on her face. The teenage girl wasn't more than 14 years old, although her beauty wasn't immediately evident. Her small childish face combined with her innocence captured the attention of the audience. She quickly stepped forward and put her tiny hands on the black stone monument. She then closed her eyes gently. As the girl closed her eyes, the monument shined brightly once again. Dochiki. 7th stage. Xiao Mei. Dochiki. 7th stage. Rank. High. Yeah. Hearing the tester read out the result, the teen girl smiled proudly. Then, 7th stage Dochiki. How impressive. At this rate, in 3 years she'll be named the true docher already. She really fits the name of the clan's sibling. Hearing the unanimous praise coming from the crowd, the girl's smile turned even wider. Arnati. The temptation that so many girls are unable to resist. While chatting with her fellow sister members, her line of sight weaved through the surrounding people and landed on a lonesome figure away from them. Furrowing her brows for a while, she finally decided against walking over. Between the two of them was already a huge gap. Looking at Xiaoyan's performance these past few years, by the time the adulthood ceremony comes, he would only be able to place at the lower tier clan member ranks. She, however, with her brilliance, would become the clan's very important and thus well-nurtured fighter. There would be no limit to her future. An inexplicable sigh emerged from her. Xiao Mei thought back to the youth from 3 years ago, bursting with energy and pride. At 4 he started practicing, and at 10 he achieved the 9th stage Dochiki. At 11 he broke the 10th stage Dochiki barrier and condensed his Dochiki Chuan successfully. He became the youngest docher in the clan since the past 100 years. At that time, his self-confidence as well as immeasurable power attracted countless young teens, which of course included Xiao Mei. However, The path of a genius was always winding. 3 years ago, this genius youngster whose fame reached the absolute top received what could possibly be the cruelest blow. The hard work he put into accumulating and condensing the Doji over the past 10 years had, in just one night, vanished into nothingness. All the Doji in his body slowly dissipated with time, and instead, pity for him grew. As a result of losing his Doji, his physical strength decreased as well, from the position of a genius. In one night he fell below the average person. This kind of blow made the youth lose his will to carry on training. The reverence once associated with his luck had slowly changed into disdain and ridicule. Standing so high up and falling right down, this kind of fall might just be one that he could never recover from. Next, Xiao Xin'er. Among the commotion, the tester's voice sounded yet again. Following the calling of this highly reputable name, the group of people quietened down immediately. Every single gaze turned. At the center point of attention was a teen girl clad in a purple dress, elegantly standing there. Her calm, tender and immaculate face was completely unaffected by the many gazes of the crowd. Her calm and indifferent attitude could be compared to the blooming of a lotus. At such a young age, she already had the air of a refined lady. It would be hard to imagine how she would affect the city and the nation once she grew up. This purple dress girl, if compared to Xiao Mei in terms of beauty, was clearly several leagues above. It's no wonder the crowd would have this kind of actions. Taking small, graceful steps, the girl named Xiao Xin'er walked up in front of a stone monument. She stretched her small hand out, and the purple sleeve mixed with black and gold threads fell down her arm, revealing a delicate snow-white wrist. She touched the monument lightly. In the silence, the monument shone once more. Doji, 9th stage. Rank, high. Looking at the words on the monument, the entire square fell into deep silence. She really reached the 9th stage. How frightening. The position of the youngest high rank in the clan has been taken, without a shred of doubt, by Miss Xin'er. After the silence, several teens couldn't help but wolf whistle, their eyes full of respect and awe. Doji was essential towards being a dolcher. Doji is split into 10 different stages, and when the body acquires 10 stages of Doji, it can better condense the Doji Shuang, becoming a well-respected dolcher. In the crowd of people, Xiao Mei stared at the purple dress girl in front of the monument with a little jealousy. Looking at the results on the monument, the middle-aged tester, who would normally be indifferent, smiled, faced her and congratulated her. Miss Xin'er, half a year later, you should be able to condense the Doji Shuang. If you succeed, you'll be a dolcher at the age of 14. The second person to do so in the Xiao clan. Of course, the second person. First would be the fallen genius, Xiao Yan. Thanks, the teen girl nodded her head lightly, her calm face showing a little happiness because of his praise. She quietly turned, and in the midst of the crowd's attention, slowly walked to the downtrodden youth in the back of the group. Brother Xiao at the youth's side. The teen girl stopped. She faced Xiao Yan and bowed respectfully. Her beautiful and gentle face showed an elegant smile, which would make the surrounding girls jealous. What qualifications do I have right now for you to call me that? He faced the girl that could be considered the clan's radiant girl and said bitterly. She, after being downhearted for an extremely short while, continued to maintain her respect. Brother Xiao Yan, you once said to Xin'er before to take on anything, one must first be able to let go. One is only truly free when he can take on and let go easily, Xiao Xin'er said gently, her smiling face full of warmth. Haha. Truly free. I only know how to say it. Look at me now. Do I look like a free person? This world wasn't mine to begin with. Xiao Yan laughed at himself, saying dispiritedly, facing Xiao Yan's somber mood. Xiao Xiao's fine brows furrowed a little, and she said seriously, "Brother Xiao Yan, though I don't know what's happening to you, Xiao honestly believes that you will stand again and reclaim your lost glory and respect." She stopped for a moment, her white tender face reddening a little. "Back then, there were a lot of people who were attracted to you." Haha. Hearing the girl's wholehearted truth, he laughed awkwardly but didn't say anything else. Other people would be swayed by it, but he did not have the qualifications nor the mood. Instead, he silently turned around and walked away from the square. Standing still and facing the lonely back of the youth, she hesitated for a while before chasing after him and walking side by side with him. Meanwhile, from behind, the jealous wolf whistle sounded.